So one thing I want to do is, let me change the size of this. I want to start doing rhythm patterns with you, doing like, I guess, the single note stuff, and see if that helps with your accuracy, and see if that gets rid of those accidental bonus strokes that result in you not clearing strings and just basically not getting that pick out of the way after doing like the eighth note here. So most likely we're going to do that. We're going to have you go through a bunch of 16th note rhythms. And when I say 16th note rhythms, that means 16th notes will be the fastest subdivision, or the smallest subdivision we'll be working with. So this is kind of like the start of this idea. Because like, for either one of these things, like, remember, you gotta stay as relaxed as you can when you're starting. So whatever that picking position was, keep using that. And when you get down to the lower strings, when you have to change your position and like tweak your hand a little bit to be in that position, well then, yeah, definitely do it. So this way you're able to stay somewhat relaxed. Because again, I mean, if you can, if it's seems like a doable thing for you, I would highly consider going to see a masseuse or something to have them check out your arm and see if there's anything that's causing like all kinds of tension in your arm that you're unaware of. Like I mentioned, I mean, it's you are the first person I've known after teaching for over 10 years who feels extra tense at the slow speeds. So do the deep breathing thing before you start playing if need be. But you did say that if you position your hand in that one spot, then you feel a lot more relaxed. So I'd take advantage of that. Like you said, when you get to the lower strings, the A and the E, the A and the low E, and then you feel like at a disadvantage because of where your hand's positioned. Like, I mean, you're just gonna have to, as I was saying tonight, you just gotta change where your hand's at. So let's say, maybe I'll do the downward slant thing here, which is what I believe you like to do. So like my pinky's already down right now, but even if it's not, so let's say I'm here. In order to like kind of stay in that spot, like at this point, like if I'm not going to have my hand on the guitar, well then I'm going to use my pinky on the body down here. Like I'm sticking it all the way out. This way I still have some kind of anchor point. So let's do this. So let's say I'm staying in this position, the old downward slant. So like, yeah, maybe have the pinky just sitting down there underneath the pickup the whole time. Maybe try that. Again, if doing that the whole time causes you to go like really tense up, be all stiff and whatnot, then don't do it. But maybe like when you get down to the A or the E string, stick the pinky out, try the anchor point that way. Yeah, because when I get down here, I have to take my hand off the guitar right there. So it's on the strings there. Let's see, can I go a little further with the camera? About to the D string, I start coming up a bit, but my pinky's there to help guide where my hand needs to be. So this way it's not total floaty. So I mean, maybe try that, but definitely play it as relaxed as you can. Um, and then with exercise one, so let's see. I mean, initially, what I wanted you to do is like work the first bar up as fast as you can, and then back it off 20 beats a minute, and then try and hit both bars, or the first two bars. So let's say you get that to 180 perfectly, though. Try your absolute best to notice any accidental upstrokes right after any of these eighth notes, because where it's going to happen there, it'll happen on one of these notes. Where it's most likely going to happen is after that one. I believe it's mainly when you go to change strings. That's when you end up snagging the string. It's when you're like going from this E to the B string. You have a tendency to snag the E string going down to the B string, or even like here to here. Yeah, so it's just the string transfer stuff. That's where the added strokes tend to sneak in, I believe. So you just got to make sure you clear that string. But yeah, so we can try this again. So get that just the one bar as fast as you can. Do your best to watch or listen for any bonus strokes. See if you feel yourself catching the string. So I've talked about when you play crazy fast, you get to a point where you're going to have to hit the strings and just swipe through it, but the muting's going to be done so well. If the muting is done well enough, I mean. If the muting is done well enough, you won't hear the extra strum. But that's not what's happening right now. So I want you to avoid hitting the extra strings as much as you possibly can. And just work on cleaning things up that way. So yeah, get this guy up. Let's say 160 is where you max out as far as cleanliness, and you gotta be clean. Gotta be clean. I always said, like, when you send videos, sometimes you like allow some stuff to happen just to kind of get through it. But one thing I want you to keep in mind, like, when you do that, that's all I have to go on, and I feel like I have to judge things on your progress on that. So, I mean, instead of like going through as many different speeds as you are, like, see if you can like just like capture the best ones. Like as soon as like you hit something and like you're feeling really good, that's the time to bust out the camera or bust out the phone and record yourself there. So at the top of your game. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, get this guy. So let's say you get to 160. That's the best you can do perfectly. So then like go down to 140 and then hit those two. See if you can get that perfect. And let's say you do. Let's say you get both of these perfect to 140. Well, then you start working on these three. So only add one at a time when it's perfect. So yeah, don't go through the whole thing trying to get it perfect. Just add one bar at a time. In fact, you get that to 160. Hell, you can try to do both of those at 160 and see how that goes, sort of thing. But just add little bits. And then this guy, I don't want you to go past. Whoa, hang on a second. There we go. I don't want you to go past 120. I want you to just get comfortable playing there. So this is what I'd like you to do. Bare minimum speeds for this. Bare minimum every day. 60, 80, 100, and 120. You want to go with 60, 65, 70, 75, and all that stuff, just kind of working it. That's totally fine too. Absolutely. But just bare minimum speeds I want you to do every day. 60, 80, 100, and 120. And keep yourself as relaxed as possible. Relaxed as you possibly can. So, yeah, I guess that's going to be another thing to really concentrate on is finding out how you can stay as relaxed as possible. I mean, I wish there was a way I could just tell you how. I mean, but it's kind of a seems like a hard thing to really know how to advise on, because it's like if somebody's like, really tense, it's like just all I can think of is just like stop flexing, man. Just like so that's why I'm thinking like maybe the deep breath thing will kind of help you there. Anyway, yeah, stick with the picking style that is allowing you to be relaxed when you start, and just go from there. So I think that covers it. But yeah, we're gonna. I think we're gonna do more rhythmic based stuff here, like short little things like what's on the screen right now. Just 4 bars, repeat, hit a note, and we're good. Let's see if that helps you get control. Because again, you got fast. You absolutely got fast. You can play fast. Just want to get it cleaned up now and get some consistency with accuracy. All right. So yeah, just let me know if any questions come up. I know you will. That's good, and I'm glad you do it. I'm glad you do it. And I will see you again in a week.